Hey, what's going on, guys? Gunshed here and welcome! Today I am off to Wheels Motorcycles. The reason being is they are going to fit some of the final parts of my bike for me, which I have in my backpack. So that's all fun and games. A reveal will be done when the bike is done, although I know you can already see the bike and stuff like that. I quite want to do like a all parts fitted walk around of it. What I wanted to talk about today is the 3x3 challenge. I was actually nominated by Hippo Drones a long time ago to do this, and I think it was just as winter was coming in, my bike went away, then I recorded it and then it came out awful, and actually I couldn't think of three things. The idea of the challenge is to come up with three things that people don't know about you, that you don't often tell them, that you think is interesting. The last part being the bit that I'm struggling with. Normally when it's about you, you don't actually think it's overly interesting. Maybe that's just me, maybe it's me that thinks I'm boring. As I said in the Phil 480 video, I'm still surprised people watch my ramblings, so I don't think I'm that interesting. So, number one is, I often say I've never been to mainland Europe, and that is in fact a lie, but I don't count it. And the reason I don't count it is because I was there for about 6 hours. Basically, when I was really young, my grandma thought it would be amazing. She saw something at a cutting in the newspaper. It must have been about the middle of summer, and it was to go to the North Pole to meet the real Santa Claus. So she decided that one year she'd treat her grandchildren to it, which was me, my brother and my cousin. So we flew to Enontekiö, which I believe is in Norway, within the Arctic Circle, and we went to meet the real Father Christmas in the North Pole. So the only place I've been within Europe, or well, mainland Europe, is the Arctic Circle. I still remember it to this day. It was absolutely amazing experience. So we landed in the airport, got kitted out with snow suits to keep us warm, because obviously it's Norway in the middle of winter and they only get an hour of daylight up there. And then from the airport to sort of Santa's village as such, you went on a snowmobile, which was cool, and then we went on a reindeer sleigh. We went on snowmobiles, did some ice fishing, and of course we went to go see the real Father Christmas, or Santa Claus as you see him. That was amazing. He was in this ice building, completely made out of ice, because obviously you can do it there. An absolutely unforgettable experience. My grandmother always said what she did for one set of grandchildren she'd do for the other set, because so my brother, my cousin and I are all of similar age. So I'm 18 months younger than my brother, and my oldest cousin is a year younger than me. So we were all old enough to go together, at which point my two younger cousins weren't born. So the other two became old enough, and it was old enough for them to actually sort of remember the entire experience, but just so they were still figuring out whether Father Christmas was real or not. My gran always said it gave the three of us a couple of extra years believing, because of course we'd been to the North Pole. I mean, you can't get much more verification than going to see Father Christmas in the North Pole. So apparently she got a couple of extra years out of us for that. Anyway, she looked into it to do it for my cousins, and say it was a few £100s a person when we went. To go when my cousins were old enough, it had been heavily commercialised, and it was a few £1,000s a person. So obviously, my grandmother couldn't afford to possibly do that. My grandmother made us agree that we would never ever speak of it in front of my younger cousin, because if they knew, I think they went to some Santa's village somewhere in the UK, like a really good one, and had a brilliant time. But yeah, so that is that one. So number two on the list of things that I don't often tell people, or that you guys don't know. Technically, I am a published poet, although it is nowhere near as grand as it sounds. But yes, there is a poem which I wrote without any help, published in a poetry book. It's called Hullabaloo, and it was a collection of poems from school children. Obviously this is back when I was in primary school. It was some sort of nationwide competition. I don't know if I think they still do it. basically teachers submit poems from different age groups and things like that, and yeah, so I am a published poet. Don't get any royalties. Of course, it's easy to rip off children for book sales because parents are all going to buy them. It was done through loads of schools and stuff like that, and I think there are about 2 or 3 poems selected from lots of different primary schools. And I do believe that was actually the last time I ever wrote a poem, because it was terrible. What the hell is going on here? So my third and final thing is, and I know I've mentioned it before, so it's kind of cheating, but I was really struggling for a third one. And I found one, but decided it would not go down well on the internet. So my third one is, I'm absolutely terrified of heights. I've tried to combat by sticking myself in exposed positions, but it just doesn't help. And it doesn't matter, yeah, it's not just if I'm on a ladder, it is like if I'm at the top of the stairs leaning over the banister talking to someone at the bottom, that freaks me out. Looking out a bedroom window at the ground, that freaks me out. Like, I tried to do a climbing wall, and I think I got about 10 feet up and was like, no. I really have to have 2 feet flat on the ground. Yeah, it's even a case of when I've been in Wales and Scotland riding some of those high roads and things, I have to focus on the road. I mean, I can briefly look out and go, ooh, isn't that nice? If I get any sight of what's down the side of it and how big a drop it is, I start getting very nervous, which is going to be really interesting on my Italy trip when I ride the Suston, the Furka and the Grimsel passes. They have very big drops. So yeah, I must say I am slightly nervous about it. But yeah, there's nothing I can do about my fear of heights. I've tried everything I can possibly think of and got nowhere with it. So yeah, that's number 3. Anyway, thank you Hippo Drones for nominating me for this video. In return, I will nominate Mr. Hepcat Harley, Bex88 if she hasn't already done it, and we'll go with Womanwolf Rider. I will put links to their channels below. Hopefully they see this and they decide to do it. If they do, then you get a video to watch. Yay! If they don't, then oh well. But I'm really sorry, Hippo Drones, that it took so long to get it sorted. Thank you ever so much for watching, guys, and take care.